One of my favourite things to do when I visit a new city is to go thrifting, and so in today's video we are doing exactly that. We're heading to a couple of different second-hand vintage shops here in Paris, so let's see what we can find. Hello guys, welcome to a brand new video. Today we are in Paris, which is very exciting. It is a Saturday and me and Mike are about to head to some second-hand vintage shops. We've had a little bit of breakfast, which I'll put in a little clip of now. And yeah, I got my little matcha to take away, and this is like the first time that I've ever tried matcha hot, so it's a new experience, but I'm actually really enjoying it. And now we're on our way to our first thrift shop here in Paris, so perfect way to start a Saturday with a matcha and go to do some second-hand shopping. So with that in mind, let's see what we can find. Okay, here we go guys, let's go thrifting in Paris. I'm very excited for this day out. So this is the station that we got off at, and this is basically a really good station to get off and kind of walk your way through several different vintage and thrift shops here in Paris. I cannot pronounce the name of the station. I'm sure you guys might be able to do it better than me. But yeah, here we are heading into our first shop of the day. So the main things I wanted on this trip were a denim shirt, because we were going to Disney at the end of the week and I just wanted to wear some double denim. I also wanted a wool jacket to replace the one that I previously thrifted from Paris, but actually shrunk it in the wash, so that was very disappointing. And then whatever other gems I could find, but they were kind of like the two main things on my list. It will probably come at no surprise that here in Paris there are several shops that have multiple MACs and, you know, beige trench coats. I feel like it's a very Parisian thing, and I saw a lot of them, mainly all in beige or cream colours. Not really a varied amount on the colours, but yeah, there was definitely a lot of them to pick from if you are wanting a MAC whilst in Paris. So this shop itself was called Alatone, I think, and I've actually never been to this one before, but it was right at the top of the station when you kind of come out of it, so a really good location for a thrift shop. And yeah, I was highly impressed. I felt like it was giving vibes of just like a normal store, like it didn't have that like rough around the edges vibe, which I kind of liked, because these are the shops that I think we're missing kind of in the UK. Apart from like charity shops, we need like more nice looking, clean second-hand thrift shops, and this one is a perfect example of that. The prices definitely varied. There were things that were very cheap, around, you know, under 10 euro, and then there were things that were around 30 euro as well. I cannot help myself, but I always have to look at the blazers, and the colour of this blazer I thought was so nice, and the structure of it looked really expensive, but I've just got too many, so I had to leave it behind. But I did love the colour, and for some reason I always gravitate towards yellow at the moment. I've been wearing a lot of it and I don't know why. Looking back now, I would have maybe put my camera down a little bit more and properly routed through the skirts and jumpers here, because there seem to be quite a few cool ones in there kind of amongst everything else, but I didn't really have the capability to, you know, properly look at every item because I was filming. So sometimes it is good just to kind of put the camera away and just use both hands to go through each item. This jumper I thought was hilarious. I did think it would be nice, but when I pulled it out, it was so long, and me and Mike were laughing at how long it actually was. But yeah, on reflection, I wish I would have took a bit more time in this shop and actually routed through each item. Okay guys, first shop is down. We're currently walking to find the second one. I'm on my phone, so the sound is a bit different, that's why. Last time I was in Paris, we visited, we did like a similar thing, and I found this shop, and this guy was amazing in there. Everything was like €5, and I found some like my favorite items that I've like ever thrifted in that shop. So I'm hoping we can find him again, fingers crossed. I'm sure we will. If we just keep walking in this direction, it'll eventually pop up. So yeah. Okay, the next shop was called Cheap, which is a name that we love, but was it that cheap? No, it was not. Starting off with this red cardigan, guys, I really wanted it, but it was around like the €40 mark, and I was like, it's a bit like too pricey for what I want to pay for that type of item. Having said that, he did have a lot of great items in here. Again, a lot of Macs to look through. You can guarantee you will find rails and rails of Macs and stripy jumpers in any Parisian thrift shop. Next up is a shop called Frippy Avenue, I think. And yeah, there was a handful of these shops in Paris, in this area, where they have like all the rails outside. Yeah, they have like 5 to 6 rails of clothing outside the front, which I really like, especially on a sunny day. It makes a nice shopping experience. But first off, I saw so much denim, and I was like convinced that I would find a denim shirt in this rail because there was so much to pick from. Everything from Levi's to Pull & Bear to Mango to Zara, they kind of had it all covered. They also had everything from blue denim to red denim to black denim, so I didn't actually find a denim shirt here, and I don't really know what's up with me, because if I can't find a denim shirt in this shop, then I definitely was not going to find one. I should mention that this shop is actually colour coded, which I'm starting to think is my favourite way to shop secondhand. A colour coded store will basically have signs throughout the whole shop with multiple different colours and prices next to the colour. So for example, it could be red is £30, blue is £25, green is £20, etc., and so on. And yeah, I just think this makes like thrift shopping and secondhand shopping so much easier, because you can just look for the colour tag and you know exactly the price of it straight away. It also means if you're shopping on a budget, then it makes it so much easier to do so. I mentioned earlier on that I was actually in the hunt for a wool jacket because I shrunk my one that I last thrifted in Paris in the wash, and the one that I last had was actually green, so ideally I wanted a green one. So I did actually find this gorgeous thick green wool jacket and I loved it, and looking back now, it was so cool. I loved it. It was so gorgeous, so thick. It had so much gorgeous detail on it as well. But unfortunately, it was just a little bit too big on me. Like the arms were just huge. And Mike kept telling me that I could get it tailored, but I don't really think you can tailor wool that well. So I decided to leave it behind, but it did break my heart. The next shop we're going into is called 3P Star, and this one I've actually seen on a lot of other thrifting in Paris YouTube videos and TikToks, so it's quite a popular one. But I will say this is probably the most chaotic secondhand store in the whole of Paris. Like, the whole thing is lit up blue. There's just constantly people coming in and out. There is nowhere to move. I don't know whether it's like blown up because of social media or it's just like a well-known one. But I think there's like several of these now in the city because I actually saw 2 other ones. But yeah, this shop is so interesting. You can hardly see anything, to be honest. However, I did try on one wool jacket, which you will have seen a little bit earlier on. And yeah, I did think that could be the one, but sadly, again, it was too big on the arms. And then we made our way downstairs to have a browse there as well. And they had like things hanging up and then, you know, like the bins in the middle of the room. And you've really got to be in a rooting mood. And I'm not going to lie, I was not in that mood. I just wanted to find nice, pretty vintage things. So yeah, don't know how I feel about this shop, to be honest. I think some of the clothing is not really handled that well. But yeah. Having said that, these red pants were definitely a standout item in the whole of this shopping trip. I thought these were incredible, and I'm definitely on the hunt at the moment for a pair of red leather trousers because what is better than that? Like, nothing. Okay, so then we went to see another 3P Star store. This one was a little bit bigger, but a lot of the similar stuff. They had some Mickey bits and actually a lot of nice handbags, which is something that I've not seen in any other secondhand stores here in Paris. I mainly get really good ones from charity shops in the UK. I will say that is what the UK does very well when it comes to secondhand. We have a lot of good bags in our, floating around. But yeah, it was nice to look at the bags. And then, of course, I'm still on the hunt for a denim shirt at this point. Okay, guys, after many shops, we finally found the one. I'm hoping I can film. What's it called? Vintage by Ramen. Amazing. And just like that, we made it to the best vintage store in Paris, in my opinion. This is Vintage by Ramen, and as you can see, there's lots of €5 signs here. This is good because it just combines everything that you want in a secondhand store. It is all so cheap. There is a lot to pick from. And yeah, it just keeps going and going and going. And we find ourselves amongst the clothing at the end. And yeah, I found so many good bits at this shop last time I was in Paris. So I was so excited to get back. I found my gorgeous blue little jacket that I've worn so many times, a black velvet shawl, little crop jacket, and a green wool coat as well. So yeah, I was definitely very excited to get stuck in here again. Okay guys, me and Mike have been in this shop for 20 minutes and why can I not find a single thing this trip? It's really upsetting me. But this is the shop that we both really wanted to come to, and we're on the hunt. Oh, that's kind of close.
It's just a cat,
yeah, for a replacement jacket that I thrifted last time. It was green wool, so this is the best option we can find so far, which is highly disappointing. So it was time for a iced matcha break, of course, because we needed something refreshing in the midst of all this thrift shopping. And then we stumbled upon this outside market, which was actually the last place that we ended up going to. And this market was so great. I was so happy that we literally stumbled across it. Like, we were just walking through these roads, and then this market was on the left hand side and it was free to enter, so we had a good look around. Straight off at the back, I had kind of like given up hope at this point, and I think that that's when you find things, because I actually found my only item in this market. So I'll save that for the end of the video, stay tuned for that. But yeah, the prices were definitely very varied. I would say it's a bit more expensive market than like any of the shops. Things were ranging from €20 up to €60. The items definitely did feel like they had been more curated, which kind of references hand-picked vintage. So it seemed like these items had been hand-picked to be put in this market. So you are going to get a lot of the good stuff that you would like normally try and find out in general vintage stores. So that definitely made shopping more enjoyable. They had so many gorgeous dresses here, and yeah, I just really enjoyed this whole experience. Well, hello there guys, welcome back to my channel. I am still recovering from this trip to Paris. I don't know why, it's been a lot. Life has just been throwing so much at me lately, and I feel like we're now on the path of like healing, and you know, things are getting a bit more normal, which I'm so grateful for. I'm grateful that life just feels normal. You know, my routine is getting back to a good place. But I just want to, before we get into the whole part of this video, I just want to say a massive like apology. I don't really need to apologize, because I've been through it. Like, my life, if you don't know, I actually lost my nan and my uncle last month, and it just meant that like I was just so distracted with like everything happening in my personal life that I have had no time to really dedicate to YouTube. Once we had sadly said goodbye to my nan and my uncle, I then flew away to Paris on a trip that I had booked for months in advance. And then I got back from Paris, and then me and Mike adopted and picked up our little new cat, who was called Ozzy. So it's been a lot, and it's just really meant that my head has not been in the space for like content or YouTube at the moment, and it really breaks my heart, because I literally said at the beginning of this year that YouTube was going to be my main focus for this year, and I just feel like I've not been able to do that. So I apologize for that, but I am back, and you know, giving that life, it continues to just be normal for a while, which I'm grateful for. We're back making content. Our upload days are Monday and Friday at 6 PM. Make sure you are subscribed for more videos coming your way. And on that note, let's get into the one and only item that I thrifted whilst in Paris. I have to say I was a little bit disappointed, because last time I went to Paris, I actually came back with like 5 or 6 items, and I was so happy with everything that I found. This trip, I just couldn't find anything that was worthy or like wowed me. There were a few items, as you might have seen in the video, such as the red leather pants, the green wool jacket that I tried on, the red wool jacket that I picked up. These are the items that I did love, but they were either too big on me, too small on me, or overpriced, and for that reason they didn't come home with me. But having said that, we did stumble across one little market, like outdoor vintage market, which I was really pleased to stumble across, and I picked up a jacket which I didn't think I needed, But this is what's so great about vintage shopping, is finding those items that you don't think you need but you end up loving and end up wearing a lot. And actually it rained a lot in Paris, so I definitely needed a jacket of some sort. Roll. The one item I thrifted was this incredible green trench jacket from the little vintage outdoor store. It's giving me a kind of like Uniqlo vibes. My boyfriend Mike actually stole this, and he can take all the credit for it because he tends to find me the best items. Like, I can't find these things. He is so good at finding them, and he pulled this one out and we both were like, oh, okay, yeah, that is nice. And it has a hood, and that's definitely what I needed on the day. So it's just a really long and quite thick actually green MAC. It's definitely not waterproof. I don't really know what material it's made out of, to be honest, but yeah, it has a zip and then all these buttons as well going down the front, so extra layers. And then the sleeves are actually padded, like these are padded shoulder pads, so they give you that nice little, you know, structured vibe on it. And then at the bottom you have these little buttons which kind of can undo, and then the jacket just becomes, doesn't actually open up, it more or less just, if I can actually do it at any, there we go, it more or less just gives you like more room on the cuffs. Yes, the one thing that I noticed about thrifting in Paris, this is my second time doing it now, is that everything that you do thrift is such good quality. I feel like, I don't know, there's something about the clothing, it just feels like it's been made really well. And this jacket just feels like it's been made, like the lining is all gorgeous, it's really thick, and it's not your average like trench jacket. It just has a much more like luxury feeling to it. I don't know, I can't really explain it, but it's like vintage on like a high level, and that's why I love going to Paris and thrifting in Paris. It's like my favorite thing to do, I cannot tell you. I just get such a buzz because there's so much variety of good stuff there. I know that I'm going to get a lot of wear out of it, especially in the spring and the summer as well. Like, it doesn't get that warm in the UK here. So yeah, this was €45, which I think equates to around about £40 or something like that. So not bad for a really good, well-made jacket that I know I'm going to wear a lot. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. That was everything that I picked up on my thrifting trip in Paris. To be honest, I just liked being able to show you guys the shops and take you on a little tour of my day out. And I was a bit disappointed at the beginning that I wasn't finding anything, but then I kind of just accepted it, and honestly when I accepted it, that's when I found the jacket. So I think going forward I need to go into these thrifting trips with no expectations, and then I will probably come away with all of the goodies. So on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you all so much. If you did enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below which shop looked like it would be your favorite, or any items that you were enjoying. And I love you guys lots, and I will see you on Monday for a brand new video. Bye.